and it's all yours.
Right. Hi everybody, welcome back to Elizabeth Burt's This and That. And I have my cameraman John with his new camera.
Yeah, we're using a Canon R5 Mark II to shoot this video. Typically I do almost exclusively stills with this camera, but we're just trying it out for video.
Yeah.
Just standard 4K video. It's a little noisy out here. We're at the grassy knoll, which has the railroad tracks here, as you can see.
Cars going by, so I have to contend.
It's a beautiful area. We've got, in the next field, loud farm machinery running. And around here, they'll run those machines all night long with big bright lights. So I don't know if that one will knock off anytime soon or not. And we've got cars going up the road, which is off to the right here.
That's all right, though.
And we're just doing this quick and dirty. Camera's on my knee, and we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Well, I am going to be reviewing the book City of Lost Dreams, which is the direct sequel of City of Dark Magic, which was also written by Magnus Flyte. And this is another book starring Sarah Weston, but this time she's actually in Prague, in Vienna. So I'm going to show the map. Gives you a sense of where they are. And again, we are given a nice kind of repartee between Beethoven and Mozart, which is hilarious. And glass harmonica is mentioned, which I absolutely love. If you don't know what that is, it's a instrument that's played by using your fingers. It's really weird if you've ever seen one on YouTube, but it's been reputed to have driven people crazy. I don't know if that's actually true or hearsay, but there are lots of there's a lot of myths surrounding the harmonica itself. But the story, as according to the synopsis on the back, it's about Sarah and Nico again, which is the 400-year-old dwarf, and Prince Max. They're investigating leads of their own in Prague and London. That her friend Polina is gravely ill, and nothing is as it seems. Of course, as one would expect. But I absolutely adored it because I love music myself. So seeing Beethoven and Mozart have a conversation together was very amusing. But I'm going to go ahead and read an excerpt from the book itself. The ambulance took the dead man away. Sarah told the police about the shots, and they notified the water patrol. Sarah was formally introduced to Harriet, which was awkward, since Sarah was still wet and reeking of vodka, and Harriet was wearing white gloves. The two women nodded at each other. Nico, get Sarah back to my place, Max said, tossing a set of keys to the little man. I'll be along in a minute. They left him to the tender administrations of Harriet, and Nico drove her to Max's place. The Lobkowitz family palace at Prague Castle that Max had converted into a museum, where Max kept a private apartment. Sarah noted the feminine toiletries in Max's bathroom. Harriet seemed quite ensconced. When she had finished showering, she saw that Nico had rather wickedly laid out a choice of robes for her, a man's dressing gown in heavy silk, monogrammed with Max's initials, an ornate Japanese kimono reeking of gardenias. Sarah searched through Max's clothes until she found a t-shirt, sweatpants, and a cashmere sweater that had escaped the busy monogrammer. She found both Max and Nico in the living room, waiting for her. Max's wolfhound, Moritz, rushed forward to lick her toes. Max handed her a glass of whiskey, not quite meeting her eye. Sarah was grateful for Nico's presence, which would keep them from discussing anything too intimate. Did anyone call the morgue? Sarah asked. Do we know who that guy was? He said he was John of Nepomuc, Max reminded her, who was a 14th century saint. Right. Sarah took a sip of whiskey. So our guy was either high or delusional. Nico shrugged. Our guy was speaking medieval Latin and Bohemian. Okay, so language history student, suggested Sarah, driven mad by declinations and pursued by the mob or unpaid backgammon dues. Someone was shooting at us. John of Nepomuc, excuse me, that's difficult to say, was pushed into the Vlachva in 1393, said Nico. reportedly because he wouldn't reveal to the king what the queen's confession was all about. John of Nepomuc is the saint of the confessional, the saint of keeping secrets. Max and the little man exchanged a look.
And that's it?
That's it.
What's the next book or next couple of reviews you're going to do?
Next couple of books, I'm going to be reading from this Daniel Boone book, which is actually a children's book. I picked it up because I'm obsessed with Daniel Boone, and it's actually in my family line on my mom's side with my uncle. My uncle is a direct relation to Daniel Boone, believe it or not. And it's actually really good for a children's book. It's got some age on it. It has questions at the end of every chapter, which I thought was very interesting. So obviously it was used as a teaching tool. And then I'm going to be reading a couple books about the Radium Girls, and then the other one was about a city that was built near the Trinium site. I forget where it was.
Trinity site?
Trinity site,
okay.
yes, it's about the Trinity site. It was,
that was where the first nuclear bomb was exploded during the Manhattan Project.
Detonated, and the women that were behind the scenes, in order to make that a reality, they were often kind of occluded and overshadowed by the men who made a lot of the decisions. But had it not been for the women, there probably would have been no nuclear.
Yeah, these were women that were like mathematicians,
yes,
you know, really highly intelligent.
Yes.
But back in the day, you know, they were kept in the back, didn't receive the accolades that the men would receive.
Absolutely.
So I've not read that book yet.
It's absolutely fascinating. You won't be able to put it down.
Yep. Well, it looks like the camera's recorded okay. It just slipped focus one time when I was moving it around on my knee. I do very little when it comes to video. I'm mostly a stills photographer. And I'd like to start doing maybe a little bit more video. We need to get we've got lapel mics. We've got, what is it, the Haviland brand. We've got the Rode wireless microphones.
Right.
And this new camera will bring in audio through the hot shoe. It's the more advanced hot shoe. So I need to look into what kind of device I need to put on the camera's hot shoe that interfaces with a wireless lapel mic, and I just haven't taken time to do that yet. The camera's new. I've only had it for, you know, a couple of weeks. So
you're still learning the ins and outs of it.
Still learning the ins and outs. And leave Elizabeth some comments. Do you like these videos recorded, you know, out in the field at the grassy knoll, or would you prefer we just stay in the studio? I mean, there'd be enough time to do videos in the studio when the weather gets colder during the winter.
Sure.
We're not going to spend.
We can do some interviews there too.
Yeah, we're not going to be spending much time out here on the snowy knoll in the winter time. So we thought, well,
Don't care for the snow.
the conditions are very temperate out here. It's absolutely beautiful out here. We're out in the. See if I can show you real quickly. We're out in the countryside. That's the field where they're doing harvesting right now. We've had a very pretty sunset.
And gorgeous clouds.
And this is where we often watch and video and take photos of trains. So we may do a little more of that when it comes to recording Elizabeth's book reviews.
But that'll be it for today. So thank you for tuning in.
And good night, everybody.
Ciao, Thank you. Sundown.